This video is brought to you by our good friends at Ridge. Their incredible wallet. It's light, sleek, and industrial. Plus, it doesn't awkwardly bulge out of your back pocket because it goes into your front pocket. Now is the time for you to upgrade your wallet. I want you to check this out. Ridge wallets hold up to 12 cards, plus all the cash you need. There's over 30 colors and styles to choose from, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. It is the best wallet you can buy, and you don't just have to take my word for it, because there's over 30,000 five-star reviews. I was skeptical at first, but once you try it, you'll never go back to your old wallet. And guys, there's no pressure. Test it out for 45 days. If you don't love it, send it back, get a full refund. When you decide to keep it, there's a lifetime warranty. Go to ridge.com/Chael and be sure to use the promo code Chael. That's going to get you 10% off with free worldwide shipping and returns. Or just click on the link below. Paddy the Baddy. Where do you want to begin, guys? A lot of moving parts here. First off, this is what we call a grand slam. Most guys believe that a grand slam is a beautiful performance. Now, that's sure an important part of it. They just forget when they're performing. They think it's just the competition. No, everything leading into it. If those things didn't matter, we would not do them. The press the week of to the guy that's supposed to move the needle. That is not only a pressure and an obligation, it is a compliment because only one guy gets picked with Paddy, and he wasn't even the main event. So right town, just enough interest, and he did a great job. He then goes out in the fight. Now, I don't want to give his opponent a hard time because every fighter has done this, where they've gone in and they flicked it in. For whatever reason, they needed to be anywhere but in that contest. And when I tell you everybody's done that, whether it was in the practice room or it was actually in front of all the people, the last place you wanted to be, all gone through it. That rear naked choke wasn't even close to in. But rear naked chokes never are, at least very seldomly. The rear naked choke is the agreed upon, non-discussed sign within the sport of MMA of get me the hell out of here. Right? The only time you run into a jerk is when you give him your back and he chooses to punch you instead of tap you out. That guy is breaking the deal. And I only share that because performance was great. But then it's what Paddy did after. For goodness sakes, he calls out Mark Zuckerberg. Where did that come from? So apparently Paddy has an Instagram account that got banned. And apparently Facebook owns Instagram now, which I thought Google owned it. So I also got to learn something. So he calls out Zuckerberg for a fight. Look, I get how silly it is. It was interesting. That's all I'm saying. It was entertaining. Then he leads the audience in a song. Now, none of this was new. Michael Bisping has been doing this stuff before this stuff was even fashionable. You take a little bit from Bisping, you mix a little sprinkle of Darren Till in there, you go grab from the great Tyson Fury, all of a sudden you got a final package that's still new and unique, and it's called Paddy the Baddy. Guys, I loved it. I have been on the fence with Paddy. I've tried to be mad at Paddy. I can't. And the number one reason I can't is because he offers a disclosure. It's the same as Francis Ngannou. I mean, I really have to compare the two. Even if they're going different paths, Francis, and he didn't have to tell us. That's his business. He chose to bring us in, and he chose to share with us honestly what he was going to do. That's hard to be mad at. Paddy, and the reason I make this comparison is Paddy is telling anybody that will listen, including Dana White, straight to his ears, I'm not taking hard fights. I'm not fighting top guys. Not for the contract that I'm on right now. You put me on a bum contract, I'm going to fight fellow bums. And I'm going to tell you no over and over again. Oh, and by the way, before you think about shooing me out the door, take a look around because this arena is sold out due to me. Now, who wants to talk? It's a different spot. I see guys get too big for their britches. In fact, I could probably, in my history in this sport, which dates back to 1993, I could count on one hand guys who never got too big for their britches. It's a very common thing. Now, it's only going to get worse. This is a poor kid who needs to fight, who has the greatest contract of his existence on earth. And he's still not happy. What happens when he starts making millions of dollars? Right? It's one of those things. What happens if they do a stadium that he's calling for and he packs out? It's one of these things. You got to know what you're getting into. But with everybody, whether disclosed or not, there's a pain in the ass waiting for you. There's some wall somewhere, whether they've reached it or not, eventually they will, and then it's going to ricochet backwards. Paddy just happens to be telling us what it is for this time. It's hard to be mad at. It's hard. He turned down Gordon. Turned down Gordon a second time. Told everybody. Didn't lie about any of it. Did not deny a single thing and says, I'm going to continue to turn guys down that are as hard as Gordon. So just give me somebody light or give me a new contract. I don't like that, but I can't be mad. That's different, right? Saying that I agree with it, saying I'm happy about it, saying I'm okay with it. No, I'm mad is the word that I'm using. I appreciate the disclosure, I guess, that we're going to have to keep doing this. And it's not as though you got some hammer here. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I mean, he's walked out there twice. He won 2 fights. They're both by finish. Plenty impressive. Took a couple of punches in this one. I mean, this isn't like some unbelievable guy that's looking for easy work. He qualifies as easy work. Easy work isn't a reality. It's a reflection of paper. How many fights have you had? The end. I mean, they've been back matching up boxing opponents from the beginning of boxing based on that. You get a guy who's 19-5, who's multiple times better than a guy that's 11-0. And commissions won't make the fight. They won't sanction it. Thinking that the guy that's 11-0 is so much better when the other guy, 19-5, just had way harder fights and was smashing him. It's thrown boxing off for years. It's a whole entire thing. All I'm sharing for you is we're not to the point, again, to go back to the word mad, where we need to be upset with Paddy. Paddy's light work at this point based on paper. He's also a big attraction, so a lot of guys are going to get on the docket with him. Not very many guys are going to turn him down. Paddy has something very big to offer. Paddy is making certain demands. But he shared that with everybody. It's different. Do you guys hear how that's different? Now, where does Paddy go from here? I don't think that Paddy's going to fight Mr. Hand Sanitizer. Mr. Hand Sanitizer, by the way, beat another guy. Mr. Hand Sanitizer he's 12-0. I wouldn't have known who this gentleman was had Paddy not thrown this at him and then labeled him Hand Sanitizer. But Hand Sanitizer's not playing around. This man is 12-0. And I looked his record up, looked it up a week ago. Now it's off the top of my head. I think he's only gone the distance once. He's finishing guys with submission. He's finishing guys with striking. He's a killer. I want to see that fight. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, right? So you can't do a bad behavior as a way of building a fight and then go and get it. You just can't. But does this go into the category of bad behavior? I mean, they never touched each other. They just shouted. I've seen Marvin Vettori shout at people, and they booked that fight, rebooked the fight, and finally did it a third time. I mean, there is some things that you can get away with. Hand sanitizer, I don't know. I'm hoping it's not that big of a deal. Because that one would be very interesting. Mr. Hand Sanitizer is everything that Paddy says he won't fight. Way too good, way too decorated, going to be way too big of a fight. Everything that Paddy says that he won't do. The other side of the coin is heading back down from a guy in this situation. So it's a tough spot. Let's see where it goes. I'm just sharing with you. This was a slam dunk by the Baddy. It was an absolute grand slam. Media leading up to it, which he was good at. What does that do for you? It doesn't get you any money. Well, not so fast. It gets you more media. That's an opportunity. Fighters like to say that they're a brand. If I was to sit any fighter down and go, what do those terms mean? Where did you read that? Tell me the book on what a brand is. They would be stuck. They have the foggiest idea. They heard somebody else say it. Now, the truth is they are right. It's specifically what an independent contractor is. It doesn't matter if you're setting up the lights and the microphones and the cameras or if you're doing the fight inside the octagon. You are bringing in your business. So when you go out and do media and you do a great job of it, don't get tired of it. Know that the better you do, the more that you're going to ask. The more that you get asked, the more that you're going to do. But you're building something, and it's special. And if you build it big enough, you can play that card in your favor when the time is right.